What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Capital Report, brought to you by Crazy Ant Sports. We got my man Vladi here with me today. We got to talk about what's going on at the Capitol. It's a lot of craziness. Vladi, take us away, man. What's happening, man?
Man, it's crazy. I've been saying this from I'm always against any kind of looting, rioting, or destroying personal property, putting other people's lives in danger to have nothing to do with your beliefs or whatever. Because there's people probably working there, janitors or senators, congress who might not be even on your side, but now you're breaking windows and putting their lives in danger, or putting their loved ones' lives in danger. I'm always going to be against that. I'm always going to be against, innocent people being thrown in harm's way, whether you're the BLM or Antifa protesters, or whether you're these guys on this side of the aisle, pro-Trump or whatever. I mean, you should never let it resort to violence, especially when it's involving innocent people. Now, if you're going to have like the Proud Boys and Antifa duke it out, I'm all for it. Go ahead, I don't give a damn. You guys both hate each other. Duke it out. Just keep us out of harm's way. And I want to watch some YouTube videos of you dumbasses get knocked out,
Yeah.
But when there's innocent people getting in harm's way, then I'm never going to be a guy that's going to support that in any sense. Or let's say innocent businesses or business owners being harmed by their businesses being, struck down or burned or looted. I'm never going to be on that side. So in that case, that's that. But it is funny to me. I think I texted you yesterday when they said, okay, we're going to start the counting again for the Georgia Senate runoff tomorrow.
Right.
And I texted you right away. I was like, oh, here we go again. He's up by a few percent. And, hey, they're going to find magical votes somewhere, It just become it happens. It happens. And it just come down to this. My dad and me were talking about this earlier. My dad was like, dude, America can never go to these other third world countries anymore and be like, your guys' elections are insane and we got to fix your guys. We don't have a leg to stand on anymore.
No, absolutely.
Even if you believe that everything was that Biden really won and that these senators really won, even if you believe that, which is fine, there was no accountability. There was nobody even understands that half the country doesn't believe it went right. Some states were taking months to tally up their votes. Right. There was no clear process.
Right.
And it's at some point you're going to have people get angry over that because people feel like, okay, look, my vote doesn't matter, right? And once you have that, you have chaos. You have a banana republic, as they call it. And it's unfortunate to see, man. I just think, we got to take a deep breath and see what happens. But I am worried in having one party have, all the power. And because now what happens is, what if they want to change the rules to make this kind of voting be forever, where it's just like, we're not going to count anything, all the dead votes you want, all the fraudulent votes you want. And now how are we ever going to have a good election if we don't fix these little issues? Yeah, that's my take on that, man. I want to hear what you have to say about this madness. Oh, I can't hear you, bro.
My bad. I said it's a couple of levels that we can look at it as, depending on how deep you want to go. Just off the surface, I think a lot of it had to do with why, it was being done. And the reason why is because, people, how they feel about Trump. I say if this would have happened when Mitch McConnell told everyone no to the 2000, or when both sides couldn't agree on if we should even get another stimulus check and how much. I think if something like this would have happened then, it'd be a whole different. I feel like people from both Democrats and Republicans, no matter if you love Trump, hate Trump, I feel like more people would be like, no, this is kind of what we need. And here's why. If you think about the history of this country, this is how things have always been done. Anytime change has taken place, from the Revolutionary War, from the breakups, the start of Civil War, wherever you want to look at it, it's always been with beginning of protests and technically violence. You look at the Boston Tea Party, all that different stuff that happened in past history. When people get fed up, it only makes sense to go after the lawmakers. I'm not saying it's right. No one sees people lose their life, but I'd rather see people mad at the government and go to the government buildings than be mad at the government and go loot.
That's a good point. Or to be mad at each other.
Kill each other in the streets, attack small businesses and small business owners, loot Target. Those things just don't make sense. I feel like I'll make it personal. I feel like, for example, black folks. If we would have been doing stuff like this during the civil rights movement, instead of holding hands, kumbaya, one day we'll overcome, and instead we were rushing DC, we're in Alabama, Mississippi, rushing state capitol. Yeah, I'm hearing people would have died, or they'd shoot us down, we get tear gas. But you can't tell me if this was an everyday thing, if they knew these folks are crazy, they will run. If we don't treat them right, after it was proven about the CIA was behind the crap epidemic, the Tuskegee experiments, the prison complex, how it's the worst prison, and it's obviously race and prejudice driven. If we were doing the same type of march in general, the judicial, you know what I'm trying to say, judicial
for
tradition in general. If we was doing this stuff, man, would have had to taken a couple of L's along the way, lost some lives, shed some blood. But bro, we wouldn't still be protesting. We wouldn't still be having civil rights arguments. We wouldn't even need a Black Lives Matter, whether you want to be for it or against it. We wouldn't need any of that if the mindset of the American people was give us liberty or give us death, which is what this nation was funded upon. Now, as far as what happened tonight, hey, honestly, man, who knows? This could all be a big play. This could be a big ploy. It could all be fake, and it just has the regular everyday Americans like you and I and our feelings bickering at each other. For all we know. Because think about it. How are people able to rush the White House and rush Congress?
I know. That's what I'm saying.
You even got to think about race. Well, if they were Black or Mexican, they'd be shot down. Bro, it's beside damn all that. You could be white, Black, anything. You can't rush into a police station.
It's like they wanted them to rush it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's like they to have the little stigma and point fingers at Trump or whatever, and say, hey, look, this dude, look at this, what people are doing. And I've seen a bunch of videos of people posting now. It's not verified. Where show some of the guys with Trump gear have been at Antifa protests before, they're professional protesters.
That's what I was getting ready to bring up. And a lot of these protests are paid for and bought by the
Soros and everybody else.
Come on, dude.
Yeah.
So we have to think, and that's not even been a conspiracy theorist. We just have to think about these things before we get too upset, get too caught up. Because on the outside looking in, I like what I saw. I know that make me a bad person, but I believe in.
I like that take. I like the honest take.
If you feel the law was wronged you, if you feel like the country is being fraudulently done, going back to your ancestors of George Washington and all them boys, they would be proud of the American people for taking back their country.
Yeah.
However, the more I look into it, and I see the different Antifa pics and videos, and I'm like, yeah, I already know how this shit works anyways. I'm like, bro, this shit.
But it's like, the question right now is have a lot of people been brainwashed to the point where they don't really want liberty? They want to be told to wear a mask. They want to be told to sit at home. They want to be told to, hey, we're going to give you a stimulus check. Do they want liberty is the question.
And I'm glad you bring that up, Vladdy, because I'm also seeing a lot of people that I see the one point where it's like, hey, if they were Black or brown, they'd be shot dead. But I'm also seeing people talking about, they're not un-American. They're un-American. What's wrong with them of the country? I'm like, bruh. We should have been doing this as a Black African American. We should have been doing this. We're still doing shit our grandma and grandpa and them was doing. That didn't do shit. Now we're just looting Foot Locker.
Yeah.
Why are we going? If y'all hate Trump so much, if y'all think some race in the White House, we don't mind killing each other in the streets. Why don't we go? Why don't we attack DC? Why don't we attack Congress? We're fighting over getting $600 damn stimulus checks. Why are we?
They're ridiculous.
Why are we attacking police?
After a year of sitting out of work, they're going to give you $600. What is that? $50 a month? I mean, it's a year that y'all shut us down, and y'all fighting Congress over $600. I mean, that's what's happening?
So I look on the outside looking in. I'm like, bro, this is what this country needs. We need a wake up call. The people that run this country need to stop playing with us, stop playing with our money. But if, again, speaking on that, if this would have been done when McConnell said no, we would have attacked his house, or we would have, you know what I'm saying? You would have had mobs of people. That would have probably made more sense and gone over more people because you're messing with their livelihoods. But we didn't see that then. We didn't see that. We saw that. You know what I'm saying? We see it now behind one man. And it does look like, you guys are just sore losers. It would necessarily look like that.
That's a good segue to move into, like, maybe to talk about the stimulus thing, because I have mixed feelings about it. I was looking at these numbers. Where are they at? So the stimulus package, the last one we were supposed to get maybe 2,000, maybe not. I mean, Asia was going to get 1.4 billion, Egypt 1.3, Sudan 700 million, Ukraine 453 million, Israel 500 million, Burma 135 million, Nepal 130 million, Cambodia 85.5 million, Pakistan 25 million, gender studies program to study in Pakistan another $10 million. Wait. Are we getting stimulus, or are we just feeding a bunch of private hands that you guys know as politicians? Is the money coming to us? So this is the issue. I'm okay with getting a stimulus package, but why are we spending a bunch of our tax dollars on these other fucking countries? I mean, how the hell does that make sense? And who really getting this money in these countries? Is it the poor people in those countries, or is it a couple politicians you have backdoor deals with? That now you're sending them billions of dollars.
That's what I'm saying.
Come on, man! And then you're going to give 1.4 billion to Asia. A lot of the money goes to China. Who's the one that is the reason we were in this fucking position with COVID?
And think about how quick they were, Pelosi and all that, how quick they were to just agree with Trump. Okay, yeah, let's do the 2000. Sign the bill, and then we'll talk about doing 2000. And then, of course, it was McConnell that downplayed it. But think about how many Americans would have been like, hey, I got my 2000. Oh, yeah, okay, cool. Y'all can give 200 million, 10 other.
That's what I'm saying.
But what people don't understand is while they're giving 200 million other places, you're still only getting $2,000.
That's the issue. Why not just give us more?
Look at Canada.
Just give Americans more.
Everyone talks about Canada. They would like to try to bash Canada, but look at what they're doing. Since the beginning of the pandemic, they've given out $2,000 a month since the start of the pandemic. Think about it. If you go tell me I should stay home or stay out as least as possible,
you got to take care of me.
I'm losing my jobs. Businesses are shutting down. Food is going more scarce. You're scaring people, the average American, that they could just look at somebody and get COVID. So what's the response to that? And if I'm going to be a good American and stay home and listen to my government, then on the flip side, my government should be taking care of me. And I shouldn't be having to worry.
I am on the side of saying I don't need a stimulus, but that's only if you open everything up, right? If you open everything up, then I don't care about no stimulus, right? I don't pay nobody nothing. But I also look at the side of it. It's unfair that if you are going to include a stimulus, I don't think 2,000 is enough after you shut everybody down for a year. I'm a firm believer that nothing should be shut down. Everything should be open. If you want to wear a mask, wear it. If you don't. I believe in liberty. I believe in freedoms as a human being, and I believe I get to decide what I should be able to do. Right? If I want to go out, I should be able to go out. If I want to stay home, I want to stay home. If you own a restaurant, you want to run it, you should be able to. If you're nervous about it, you should be able to stay home. That's fine. But now let's talk about this amount. You're going to tell me that how long have we been going through this now? A damn year, pretty much.
Yeah, 6 months at least.
And you're going to give me $1,200 once, then, and now you're going to offer another $2,000 or $600. That's just not enough. That's just not enough. I mean, you live in Texas, right? You live in Texas. I live in Washington. Two polar opposite states politically. But it ain't enough for you, and it ain't enough for us.
Nah, if it ain't enough for us, I know it ain't enough for y'all.
Exactly. So I'm on the side of saying I don't want a stimulus. I want it to be all open. But if you were going to close it, then you better give us a decent stimulus like Canada gave of $2,000 a month. But my only fear of that is this. My only fear of that is that the people are going to get used to it, and they're never going to want everything to open up because they'll be like, hey, I'd rather sit here and get government checks.
Right.
So that we need to also find the middle ground of how do we get things open up again. And I'm fearful that they're just going to keep this shit shut down and give us a couple French fries once every 6 months so we can keep voting for them. Every election cycle, like, hey, vote for us, we'll give you a $2,000 stimulus while we're shutting y'all down.
No, it might really get shut down even more so, man, as this type of shit continues to go. Because it happened in DC. I can imagine not happening in different cities around America. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if you see a Donald Trump call martial law, or even if Biden does get in, he calls a martial law. Yeah. There's a lot of people that believe Biden will not take that office. There's a lot of people out here believe that Trump is the last president of the United States. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know what may happen. Think about it. Everyone has their own realities. And right now, all these realities are starting to it was a time where everything was suppressed and this was the status quo. People are starting to get that feel like what you just said. Liberty, like my own freedom. And I break it down to little stuff like, why do you need to pay for electricity? Something that's a natural thing.
Yeah.
Why are we paying for water? a natural resource. So though I honestly believe right now we're
and even if you want to get water well on your own property where you're going to be getting the water out of you got to pay a permit to the city.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like even if you're getting the water out of your own property out of a well, I got to pay a permit here. I got to pay a city fee here. Annual fee to this guy. I'm like, whoa, but I'm pumping this out of my own land, and then I got to pay tax. So I'm with you 100%. As I'm an anti-tax libertarian as much as they get. I just say I'm anti-war. I'm anti you taking my money. I believe liberty is the number one thing we have. And my fear is right now I'm seeing a lot of people brainwashed into a position where they don't want liberty. They want a governing party to tell them what to do, to tell them when to wear a mask, to tell them when to take it off, to tell them when to go to the store, to tell them when they can not go to the store, to tell them when they can go to work, to tell them when they not. And I'm like, you want to just be bowing down to this power, wherever it may be, and it's a very confusing thing. Now people are brainwashed into thinking like that.
It's just funny that the same people that I see a lot on my timeline on Instagram and Facebook that were talking about defunding the police have problems with what happened in Kenosha and have a problem with what happened on the Capitol. I'm like, bruh, if we don't have a police force, what do you think will be the norm?
What's going to be the governing body? Somebody has to step up and
you know what will be? It will be the military.
The martial law.
Officially be in martial law. And a lot of people say we've been in martial law for like the last 100 years or so. You can go back and look at it.
In a way,
yeah. Technically, we have been. If you think about what rights and laws.
Yeah, but think about having curfews and shit.
Yeah, certain cities and towns do. I have buddies that grew up in places that had curfews. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, the bigger the city, more likely the more liberal. So you'll get more of these quote unquote freedoms, if you will. Those are also the same cities you have more of a chance of being incarcerated, being shot and killed. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like overall, people are looking at it, they feel like we're in turbulent times right now. Yeah. I feel like we're headed towards a great new era. Everything, the old ways just going to have to come down. And hopefully you're not where, things are crumbling on top of your head because everything's coming down. It's a whole new day. I
don't think that the distrust for the media has come down to like an all-time. I don't think anybody believes in anything the media says anymore. There's obviously some people that do. But it's like turning into this weird thing where it's like you have people who are like purposely want to be controlled by the government, and then the rest would just say, "Hey, I just want to live my life," and that's what the clash is turning into. It's not even a political thing anymore because I have a lot of friends who are not Republicans by any stretch of imagination, but they hate the mask thing, right? Right. And they're like, oh, I just want to go this way because I just want to have. And there's other people who are like, no, how dare you not wear your mask? You got to listen. This is bad for people get sick. And I'm like, well, people can get sick anyways, right? And now with the vaccine, it's like turning into like we have to get a vaccine. Like I'm not getting that shit.
My biggest problem with the media has been every time I read an article, they're like, let's say they're talking about Trump, fighting the election results. It's always with no evidence. They always put that in there with no evidence. So if you were just strictly going by what CNN or Fox or any of them are saying,
or MSNBC,
you would look at it and think, oh, wow, this guy doesn't have any even evidence. Meanwhile, there's people you've sent me stuff, other people with full-blown lawsuits with 50 different dots of this happened, this happened, this happened. We're finding this is why this happened, this happened.
Yeah.
With evidence.
And it's like if you don't believe it, well, let us play this out in the right way and let's have a conversation about it.
And it wasn't with your boy Pence. Like, is he paid for
That's not my boy. Never was my boy. I never liked Pence. Yeah, I never liked Pence. He's an establishment Republican. I never liked Pence. I never liked Bolton. I never liked a lot of those guys that originally came into the Trump administration at all. I'm anti-establishment politician of any sort. Like I prefer a Bernie Sanders over Mike Pence, just because at least he's out of the box a little bit. Of course he's bought, man. He's an establishment candidate that's been in conservative Republican politics his whole life. He believes in the status quo. He believes in the military-industrial complex and big pharma, and that's what he believes in. And if you're going to have a guy like Trump trying to mess this up, well, dude, listen, he's been riding this wave for the last 20, 30 years as a politician. He's like, I don't want to get fuck this up. I'm not going down with this guy. You know what I mean? If this he's just trying to burn the house down, I'm gonna be the first one out the door. And I get it, but I've never been a fan of Pence, and I've always said he does whatever like you push him to do. He's just a clog in the machine. He just moves around, just another bolt. And I hate the machine. The machine needs to be burned down. I've said that from the
and but this is what burning down the machine looks like. And I think
exactly
people,
in a way, right?
I have all these people, and I'm looking at my timeline. I'm looking at people talking about, oh, this is horrible. I'm like, dude, y'all are saying people talking about the revolution or give me liberty or death or freedom or death. I'm like, dude, y'all are saying people.
That's a good point.
Y'all mad at folks like. This is what it looks. We're watching. What it looks like. That's a good point. We're watching it. Like, what do y'all think? Y'all think Twitter fingers changes laws? Do y'all think Mark protesting? We've been doing that since the 60s, 50s. You think that changes laws? No. Knowing these people, having these people feel like they're not safe at home, at work, or anywhere else unless they're doing the job. That's what changes laws.
Yeah, because
you want to believe that this whole thing wasn't staged. Because, like I said, I'm still.
Oh, come on, man! This whole thing has been a debacle. I mean, I was looking at it, and it's just like, I mean, I don't understand how everybody else just doesn't open their eyes and see how crazy this whole election was.
They're not supposed to.
I mean, it's like they put the veil over their eyes, and the media has taught them to hate Trump so much that they're ignoring all the other irregularities around. Yeah. So they're ignoring everything else that's bad that's happening because they don't like this dude. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of devastating in my opinion. So yeah, man, and it sucks because it's football, man, playoff time around the corner, and everybody's supposed to be happy, man. Everybody's supposed to be happy.
Good times. Good times and good vibes. Not happy.
Good times and good vibes. Instead, everybody's arguing, man. I posted some shit on Facebook, as you saw, and it goddamn World War III broke out, that motherfucker. You saw that? Everybody's just going crazy. I'm like, dog.
Because people's main argument is, well, had they been, black or brown, they'd be getting tear gas and this and that. But I keep telling these folks, man, that's what revolution looks like, man. What do you think a lot of these revolutionary everybody loves and so much, from Malcolm X to Khalid Muhammad, all these other guys, Huey Newton, dude, this is what they talked about, man. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. Everyone just wants to.
But then at the same time, we had in Seattle, Chaz, they locked down the whole thing. The dude that was running it was black. Nobody shot him. It's just like, look, I see what your point is, though, on if we want to burn down the system's the way to burn. And it's a very good point that I got to think about further before making a commitment on. Because I'm usually anti, like, stop fucking shit up. Let's live peacefully.
I get that.
But it is boiling up to the point where it's like, dude, I might have to shift my way of thinking about it too. Because
that doesn't mean you have to go out there and start throwing bricks.
Yeah, but I can support it because
you can support it. You can support watching this system fall. It's fraud.
Because it needs to fall. This system has been in place, and the same exact power people have had the power for way too long, where the liberty is being destroyed to the point where, like I said, I literally have people yelling at me when I don't wear a mask, like when they're like a million miles away, or I take a picture.
That's crazy. You even have a choice in Texas. You're not going anywhere without a mask, and the fact that Texas is like this is how I know this is fucked up. I would have thought every other state.
No choice. We don't have a choice. I just don't do it until somebody says something.
You can't go into a store without it on down here.
Yeah, it says that here too, but I just don't wear it until somebody asks me. If they ask me, I put it on because I'm not going to be an asshole. I'm not going to be an asshole.
I was like that at first today.
I just carried my hand when I hear, "Sir, can you put it on?" I'm like, "Yes, ma'am." I put it on, and then I'm gonna follow you. But hey, until you ask me, I ain't putting that shit on.
I see people driving around with masks in their car by themselves. I'm like, bruh.
What's wrong
after this pandemic, you better, even when they say COVID is over, you better still be wearing a mask for.
Oh, they will be. They will be. They'll take the vaccine and they'll be taking it. I'm going to do the same thing I've been doing. I'll carry it with me, and I'm not a disrespect. And when I go into a business, it's their place of business, so I'll follow their rules.
Sure,
I'm not going to be disrespectful. If I see an elderly lady or somebody that looks like they have underlying conditions, of course I'll put it on. I'm always going to respect. But if I'm in a place with other young people and we're just having a slice of pizza and a drink, it's like, why do I got to have a mask on? When I know the people around me are healthy in a way.
That's actually the only place you don't have to is in restaurants. Yeah, you don't have to have them on.
But you know what's crazy here, dude? They shut down you can't be inside restaurants, so they put tents outside. The tents are closed. You have to be in a tent. But the tents are closer together. There's less social distancing inside the tent than there is in the restaurant. It makes zero sense. I'm like, so we just got to freeze our asses to death to get a slice of pizza, dog. Come on, man. This is madness. And people out here supporting it like, yes, we're going to stop the curve. I'm like, they said it was going to take 2 weeks. It's been a year and a half, bro. Whatever the hell.
Bro, people, the death rates and the more cases are climbing. And they're talking about like a second string or another wave.
I'm like, listen, I'm going to get it. I think I've had it.
Sure.
It's just part of life now.
Right.
I just refuse. I just don't believe that those masks do anything. That's why I'm mad at them. They don't do shit. Don't. It's like you put some draws on your face, dog. Yeah, that shit ain't gonna do nothing.
Bro, I've seen people with boxers on their face down here. Bro, I've seen it all, dude. And my thing is like, bro, there's so many other diseases that you can catch and die from that no one has ever cared of. AIDS, tuberculosis, freaking. Dude, there's a bunch of you can just walk outside and catch from somebody else.
Something else. But yeah, it's just part of life. Like we're gonna just mask it. I'm worried if this is step 1, what if step 2 is like just stay in your house? There's a bug out there.
That's what people are saying that.
And then you're gonna be trapped in forever.
Yeah.
And you're gonna trap yourself. And I'm worried about these people who are like some of them are rational human beings, but they're like, no, we gotta stay in. I'm like, you're entrapping yourself. You're making yourself believe it's worse than it is.
You know who are making rich, even richer or wealthier? Jeff Bezos, dude.
Of course, Amazon.
He made extra.
Bill Gates he's behind the vaccine. Yeah, Bill Gates behind the vaccine. So Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, they love these shutdowns. They're getting their money. You got one guy making the vaccine, the other guy bringing you every package to your goddamn door. The only people, and then Walmart's still open. The only people that are closed down are small businesses.
They say it's a new disease where for people hitting them where it's not exactly COVID, but it's from COVID. It's where you're scared to even leave the house. You're scared of going there. It's like I forget what they call it.
It's like a paranoia thing.
I watched a little documentary on it. It was pretty sad, man.
No, but it is. It's because you build this paranoia in your head that there's no reason to rationalize it. It's crazy. But then you build this up in your head to where now you truly believe that it's just like people when they truly believe that Trump is this evil, he's this evil boogeyman. It's like, dude, this guy is the first dude tonight to take us to a new war in 40 years. Kushner just passed another peace deal just yesterday. Peace deal after peace deal.
Just look at the bill he exposed. Everybody's like, well, he signed it. But, bro, you never would have known what was even. Look at what he did.
Yeah.
He showed you. That's why Pelosi and them was so quick to sign a new one. He showed you, look, y'all only getting 600. Meanwhile, they're giving $10 million here, 65 for new furniture. This million,
$60 million for new furniture for the Congress.
Like I'm like, dude, he's
the audacity.
He's exposing.
He's the first president to ever do that. And on top of that,
nobody's ever done that.
Nobody's ever done it. And on top of that, you have 4,000 pages of a bill. These dudes signed it within an hour. You can't read through that shit.
He said, there's no way y'all read this. He said,
it's impossible to read it that fast. It's just impossible. You guys got the bill. You guys, we getting $65 million for furniture? AKA, I'm going to buy myself some shit for the house. Whatever. Oh, we're only giving these idiots $600. We're going to make them wait another year.
What if they would have wrote in there, the vaccine will be mandatory?
And we wouldn't have even known about it.
We didn't know. We got our 600. All right. We moving next day.
Yeah, you accepted the money. Open your arm out, boy.
Yeah.
Let me stick that shit in there.
Yeah.
Come on, man. And that's what I'm saying. People are like, it's sad that the media's craziness towards Trump has gotten a lot of people to sit around and purposely intake control of the government to control over your life. Like instead, like the thing of liberty has went away. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. If you're conservative, if you're liberal, but
I don't care.
But what I do care about is my liberty. And it shouldn't be a liberty should not be a political issue. It should be an American issue.
And that's what I'm saying now. And I'm glad you brought that up because that's what we're seeing now. It shouldn't be about Trump this or Trump that or Biden this or that. If people just take the time to dive in, look at the arguments, get into the research, they would see, man, this is all of our problem. That we're all in this as a collective because the people that really are pulling the strings, they're not against each other. They're not feuding against each other. They're not being pitted against each other. I mean, we are over simple shit.
Yeah, bro, they're doing their day. They're getting that $65 million for furniture. They're good.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? They're shaking each other's hand. They got the money going on random, wherever they want to go. They're controlling everything. They're still going to be.
What kind of furniture? And even still, you look at 65 million furniture. Is that like a cover?
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what it is. It has to be.
It has to be, bro. Like,
it's like all that money when they got it.
Million?
It's like all the money that goes on different studies, like studying the weed effect on butterflies. $4 million. You know, they be doing that shit. They be sneaking this shit in. Study of
bro.
gasoline on fish. You know,
Yeah,
like
bro. Come
who's
on.
really making that money? Are you
Come
taking that
on,
money and
dude.
pretending that you're actually studying some shit?
That's what I'm
Writing
saying.
you know, it's just a
It's
waste.
funnel money. It's drug
It's
money.
funnel money.
Next thing you know, that
Yeah.
65 million is in the cartel's hands in South America.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
Operation Fast and Furious under Obama administration when they sold all those guns to the cartels. I mean, but the thing is happening forever, and it's always happening. And like you see this, right? They have in this bill $10 million for gender studies in Pakistan. That's a real thing. What? Hey, I'll go study genders for
why
10
does that
mil.
why does that matter? Why do we care about gender studies and
But they
fucking
did. It's not
Pakistan?
because that's what it is. Just a
That's not
funnel.
what
It's a
it
way to
is. It's
funnel
a
money.
funnel. That's the way to
It's
funnel
just a way
money.
to pretend, and you're going to throw it to some nonprofit organization that you guys all own, and you guys all split it, and your daughter gets 100,000, your son gets 50,000, and that's exactly what happens. While you're
Bro,
giving Americans $600.
bro, we've
Come
been
on, man.
fighting wars and little
Yeah,
battles or whatever you
pointless
want to
wars.
call it that where we gave them the guns that we're now fighting against. That don't even make sense, bro.
Oh yeah.
Come on, dude.
I
I
mean, but this has been
supply
going.
you just to
This has been
fight
going.
against you
This has been going on forever, and this is what I'm saying. The
forever.
establishment, the establishment has been
Establishment.
having this forever, and this is why I like a dude like Trump because he's like, "Fuck that, I'm gonna expose some of it," and he's exposed some of it. Now, has a lot of it went under him? Of course it has, but it's part of the game. It's hard to stop it all because you have to pass a spending bill one way or the other, and a lot of these spending bills I've been against. I've been against a lot of. I've been against him bombing Syria when you bombed the airstrip. Thankfully, it didn't escalate a war because he hasn't started one, but I've been for these peace deals. But that's the whole thing. What do you think is going to happen if Biden takes over? It's going to be the same old status quo. Let's send 100 million for furniture, 50 million for Pakistan, gender studies, 2 more wars over here. We're going to go to Syria. We're going to go to Venezuela because they have oil reserves. They have oil reserves. Oh, South Sudan. They have the old vice president fighting over oil rights right now. Oh, we'll step in and steal some of that oil too. And that's what it's going to go back to. Everybody here is going to be struggling.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
madness.
yeah.
I mean,
And if
that's
they do,
that.
I could
Yeah.
see Biden if they do give him the money, it's because they done shut the country down.
You said what? If they
I said
what?
they do start giving out money regular monthly, it's because they done shut the country down.
Yeah, and it's like, would you rather live off $1,000 a day, or would you have a chance to succeed and maybe make more money down the road? That's what it's gonna come down to, man. It's gonna be like, hey, we're gonna give you this bullshit. Well, we're gonna get rich off you. Amazon's gonna, get a big. Jeff Bezos gonna get bigger yachts. While you motherfuckers just gonna get by with a loaf of bread and a piece of meat that's probably overdue. You know what I mean? Like,
An extra $300 a week
hey, and by the way,
unemployment.
you can only use your money on Amazon or
That's crazy.
Walmart. Hey, we're gonna give you Amazon and Walmart vouchers.
That's
That's
crazy.
what it's gonna be. You're just having a corporate America run everything. It's like this madness, dude.
Yeah, they
And I don't see how all these people are like being okay with it. They're like the same people who are anti, who pretend that they're anti the big powerful white dude at the top. Like, no, you're for that dude. You're for that dude. You're begging that dude to take over. You're begging Jeff Bezos to take over everything and Bill Gates to take over everything with your vaccines and your masks. Like, you're begging that to happen.
the,
And it's
the
like they don't see
average
it. They
the
don't
average
see it.
American does they just don't care. I mean, they just
They don't.
and Trump came in and I guess he was a little offensive. He was a little at borderline
Brash.
racist, I guess you could say at first.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it tough. I mean, it does. I mean, like I heard someone say, you may not be a racist, but the racists believe that you are. And and I'm in Texas. You see a lot of the stereotype
Yeah.
racist or
Good old
stereotype
boys.
racist people. They're all Trump support, and that's tough. So it
It
makes
is.
it tough for people like me. They're like, dude, it's deeper than race. It's not. They're like, oh man, you don't get it. You're trying to be a sellout, or this. I'm like, no, bro, it's way deeper than
It's a
that.
bigger picture, dude. It's like you got to said there may be flaws with the man, and of course there are. Nobody ever said there wasn't.
No,
But
no,
when
sure,
you're
wasn't.
looking what the other side of the Libra scale offers you, it's like I'd rather be here. You
I'd rather
know?
know how someone feels and what is real than someone just having a smiling face
Yeah, and passing
in
the
my
crime
face.
bill and
And
and,
meanwhile,
and
yeah,
locking up
exactly.
people. Come on, right behind closed doors.
Thank you. Everyone
You don't
loved
even know.
Bill Clinton before Obama. Bill Clinton was quote unquote the first black president. He's playing the saxophone. All
Yeah,
folks just loved him. Meanwhile, he's passing crime bills and
yeah.
different
That
personal
Biden wrote.
bills. And come
Yeah,
on, man, that
yeah. It's
Biden
madness.
wrote. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So it's
it's,
just
it's it's the same, but it's like the same mafia handing out power to power, And it's like the reason they hated Trump is because he's the first one that wasn't part of their clique. He wasn't part of their little group. Yep. He donated to them here and there because he does what a businessman does. But he wasn't part of that, like, hey, I'm going to rub your back, you rub mine. No, he came out and exposed a lot of this shit. You know, he exposed the furniture and the $10 million that's going here, which is crazy, man. But hey, we'll see what happens in the next couple of days because it's not. I don't think it's settling anytime soon. It's gonna be pretty nuts, man. But I'm excited. You know what's gonna get our mind off of this is we got some good old football coming up. We got NBA basketball underway, so I'm excited. And we should run a podcast on some of the sports here soon.
That's what we'll do. So we'll go ahead. I'll let you wrap this one up for the folks, man.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna get to talking. We're gonna play this next sports show.
Yeah. All right, man. So this is Vladdy, as you know. And you guys got to keep checking us out. We're going to have a lot more content coming in soon. Hey, good talking to y'all.
All right, y'all. Y'all take care. It's been the Capital Report. We'll see y'all next time.